Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the second posture I want to discuss in the Fundamentals of Yoga series that I'm making. And this one is pretty simple, but there are a couple of variations that are handy, and I'll show you those in a second. The basic pose. So if you start with your legs out in front of you, you're just going to bring your feet slowly in, letting your knees fall out to the sides until the soles of your feet touch. And you're basically making sort of a diamond shape with your legs. Some people call this the diamond pose. Others call it the butterfly pose because your legs can sort of do a butterfly thing. The actual name of it is Baddha Konasana, which literally means bound ankle pose. And often you may see this called the cobbler pose in older yoga books. It seems like everybody has a different name for it, but we'll go with butterfly because that sounds kind of nice. So as you do this posture and you bring your feet in, pay attention to any tension in your knees, as well as tightness in your inner thigh and hamstrings, because it's going to probably hit you there. I would also pay attention to the lower back, and that's probably all the areas where you'll find it, although your experience may be different. As usual, I recommend paying attention to what's going on in your body. Listen to the signals because you don't want to overdo things. Now, working with this pose, I don't recommend grabbing your feet and pulling up. I know some people do that, but I just feel like it puts too much stress on certain joints and the bones of your feet, and there's maybe not a lot of benefit to doing that. It's better to grab your ankles, perhaps. So pull in as far as is comfortable. And one thing you can do is rest your elbows on your knees. And here, before you even do that, I would say once you get here, straighten your back. Feel like there's something pulling from the top of your head. So you straighten your back, get a good posture, and then lean forward as far as is comfortable. Don't overdo it. And then if you want to put a little more push into the stretch, you can put your knees or your elbows on your knees and gently push downward. And see, I'm grabbing my ankles, so I have a little bit of leverage here. Now, don't overdo it. The thing about yoga is that you get progress slowly and patience is rewarded. Take it a little bit at a time, gentle stretches, and the flexibility will come mainly by holding a pose. And that's why I often recommend holding poses for perhaps 3 breaths. So as we're in this posture, let's hold it for 3 breaths. So inhale and slowly exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Now, on each exhale, you can sort of pull a little bit to bring yourself forward, but again, don't overdo it because you're going to make progress, and if you pull too hard or you strain something, you'll set yourself back because you're going to have to wait for that to heal. So it's better to find that nice sweet spot where you've got some tension that you can feel, but it's not hurting. And by just holding it there, little by little, if you do this on a daily basis or at least a few times a week, you will notice that your flexibility improves. Now, there are a couple of variations that you can do. If you have pillows, you can tuck them under your legs. And in doing that, you give them a little bit of support. So if, like, say you want to hold this pose for a little longer than just a few breaths, some schools of yoga do that, and you can bring a bolster in too. And so you can just give yourself, I'd probably use a bigger pillow here so my chest could actually rest on the pillow, but get comfortable, give yourself some support, but still feel a little bit of that stretch. and then just hold the pose for a while. And by doing that, you give yourself a chance to work into the pose. But if you're going to hold the pose for longer than a few breaths, when you come out of it, do so very slowly. So if I had another pillow here and I was super comfortable and I was just sort of resting in this pose for a while, then I would like use my hands to help lift my body, come up very slowly, and then put away the bolster and then remove the pillows and then see how that feels and then slowly stretch my legs back out so that they're extended again and I can feel where I really hit my legs and my hip joints and my inner thighs and all the stretching places that probably don't get enough of that in our daily life when maybe you sit at a desk all day or you're sitting doing something else, if you're not standing and walking around. And even then, you don't get a lot of stretch in the hips and you don't really get a lot of stretch down your hamstrings and inner thighs too. Those seem to be really tight places on a lot of people. One other option, I'm going to do it sideways so you can kind of see me here, but you can do the same pose with bringing your soles of your feet together, and then you can lie back. And be careful lying back. You want to be kind to your lower back. You can lie back and you can just let your legs fall outward. And that will allow the stretch in your inner thighs. And you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to pull on your legs, right? You just can just lay here and allow your legs to stretch. And this is a very gentle way to do it. It's just the weight of your legs that's pulling. And this can be a very relaxing pose if you want to de-stress a little bit. You put your arms down at your side. You could even put some pillows underneath your legs to support them again. And depending on where you put your feet, that can adjust any tension you may feel on your lower back. So it's a good idea to kind of experiment a little bit with where you put your feet. And then you wind up with a little bit of a stretch going on, but the rest of your body is relaxed. And you can just sit there and feel what's going on in your body and breathe with it. And the way I teach yoga, like I said, I always want to spend a few breaths in a posture. It lets you settle into it. You really feel it. You can feel where the stretch is happening. And by doing that regularly, your body responds and you will get more flexible. And if you're doing things like warrior poses, standing poses, you will also get stronger. So the basic rule is take your time, hold it for a few breaths, and feel what's going on in your body. So there's Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. This will be part of a sitting series that I want to do that is designed to open up the hips and make your hips and legs more flexible. So we will continue with other postures in the next few videos, all targeting the hips, legs, lower body. See you then.